remember, when you get close to the car that's in front of you, that dirty air that comes off that car, Eddie, as you and I know from driving these, really takes the downforce off your car, maybe lightens up the front, and the car won't turn as well as it wants to. We call that understeer, and if the car can work well behind the car that's in front, great. If not, use the tools in the cockpit, the weight jacker and the adjusting bars, maybe make it a little bit better.
Looking for Dan Wheldon. Started 34th in this field. He has moved up 10 spots. You're on board with him. And one thing he was worried about going into this race was all that dirty air created by 34 cars.
But right now, the position he's in, he actually has a small advantage because everybody else has opened the air up in front of him. And he, oh, here we go.
Trouble contact and a huge crash. Up in turn number 2. Oh, multiple cars involved. Oh, my. It looks like Dan Wheldon may be involved in it.
And Eddie, you and I spoke about this morning in the drive-in. Just this amount of cars, the speed, just the chance for what they call the big one.
And what happens in conditions like that, even if you're 300 yards behind that, you cannot stop these cars. The only option you have is to try to avoid it, and it was impossible to avoid anything there.
And you saw willpower. His car involved as well. My. What a mess. That's Townsend Bell that was, I think his car was up on its side there, the 22.
15 there of Jay Howard. An additional entry, excuse me, is at the 19 to 15. I can't see with the sun shining there. Some of the car is broken. They're showing that as Alex Lloyd, the 19.
It is. And we are still waiting official word on the condition of Dan Wheldon. We had a 15-car crash, if you're just tuning in, on lap number 12. And several cars got into the catch fence. We'll show you one angle from high above, and you'll see exactly what happens.
Cars, just as soon as they touch, we end up having a situation where the one car starts to get out of kilter, Eddie, gets collected by another, and a chain reaction that continues. And as we discussed before, at these speeds at over 220 miles an hour, we really are just a passenger.
You're a passenger, and really how you deal in that accident is just a question of reflex. Once these things start, it's just an accumulative effect of cars and pieces, gearboxes, and whatever being bounced around the track. And there's nothing you can do. You just have to ride it out and hope you're in the right place. And many of these drivers, unfortunately, were not.
And multiple cars got into the air, including Dan Wheldon's car right there, as you see, as it goes into the catch fence as well. And it's just unbelievable carnage. Every driver that we have talked to said they have never seen a zone like that in their lives, where they had to drive through, and how much debris there really was scattered across the track, along with two guys who have been through this. I mean, you've broken your back twice. I mean, there's nothing more devastating. We talk about it, and we almost from time to time get used to the fact that we're running fast, we hit the wall, and everybody walks away.
And because these cars have become so safe over the years, the tracks have become safer. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indy Racing League really developed the safer barrier that's now in use here at this particular track, at all tracks around North America and the world, for that fact, used at all NASCAR tracks. But, you know, we get this reminder every once in a while about how fast we are going, 220 miles an hour, the length of a football field in less than a second. And Eddie, you said it, that, you know, it's a reactionary thing, that when this type of thing happens in front of you, you hope you've made the right decision. But there's sometimes no decisions to be made. For a lot of drivers today, they were just in a place where there was no option for them, Eddie.
But they have packaged a lot of cars together here at this race. This is one of those racetracks where we had some great interviews, unfortunately, in the last hour, where all the drivers have given their perspective. We put a lot of race cars on a racetrack that is too easy to drive flat. Flat means you never take your foot off the throttle. And when things happen here, it's a multiple. It just keeps going faster and faster and faster and faster. And you have a car that's spun, stopped in the middle of the track, and you have 15 of them arriving at 20 miles an hour. There is nothing you can do, and all that energy has to go someplace.
And it does, but you know, when I'm listening to you, this is us talking now because we're retired, you know, and we're analysts. But when we were driving, I mean, we chose to get inside those cars. I mean, that's what we did for a living. We wanted to get in there. We wanted to go fast. We wanted to beat the other car. We choose to get inside those cars. We know that the consequences might be dire. And you've had accidents. I've had accidents. But in this situation here, we're just hoping and praying for Dan Wheldon, Marty.
Let me see just
Vassar.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Vassar, team owner, co-owner of KV Racing. At the hospital, Jamie Little has passed along that Dan's sister Holly is there. His brothers Austin, Ashley, and Elliot are there. His wife Susie and their two children, Sebastian and Oliver, are there as well. No further information coming from the hospital yet from Jamie Little. As soon as we do get word either there or here, we'll pass it along. And there is the captain, Roger Penske, talking it over with his team.
You know, and Roger has been involved with the sport so many years, Eddie, as you know, and all through the decades that we had when injuries were very strong, not only injuries but deaths. And I think of Mark Donahue, who drove for him and was killed. It's a difficult situation, but we're all in this as a family because we love the sport.
A very big family, and there is absolutely nothing that can prepare you for moments like this.
All right, we are getting word that there's Randy Bernard.
Our thoughts and prayers are with his family today. Indycar, its drivers and team owners, has decided to end the race. In honor of Dan Wheldon, the drivers have decided to do a 5-lap salute in his honor. It will take place in approximately 10 minutes. Thank you.
There will be no one-on-one interviews or questions. Thank you.
Did he confirm these? All right, we came in late on that, and folks, this is the hardest part of our job, and the last time I had to do this was 2006 with Paul Dana, but we have lost Dan Wheldon today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A tragic accident on lap number 13, and Dan Wheldon killed today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There'll be a 5-lap salute. Stay with us, please.